Hello, everybody, and welcome to MS Live. I am your host, Myles Sergé, along with my co-host, Mr. D-KNOX. What's up, man? How you doing today?
Man, I'm chilling like a villain, man, on this Sunday out here in
Or,
Warsaw, Poland, man.
how's everything over there?
Man, it got cold. Like last week, it was straight up warm. I'm outside with a jacket, unzipped. And like yesterday, I was just trying to go to the park. It was like cool and chill out in the morning, and then I went to get something to eat, man. Like literally within 5 minutes, the weather just I looked out the window, it was windy, snowing, cold. I was like, I did all this work to come downtown, riding these buses and subways, and I got basically turned around to go back home. But that's how it is. It's cold. It's supposed to be cold for another week, and then it goes back to being warm.
Okay.
But I'm all right. I'm all right.
That's what's up. What's up? As you guys can see, we have some special guests that are also on the screen with us today. We have first and foremost, Mr. Santiago Salazar, aka S2. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thank you for coming, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
And also, yeah, for sure. And also the man, the myth, the legend, Joshua Tree. How are you? And for some reason, hold up.
Oh, how about now?
There you go.
There we go. Yep. I'm doing very good. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Good, man. Real good.
Yeah, that's cool. I also have another special guest that happened to sneak in, just broke in the house. My cousin Terry is here. I'll get him on camera in a little bit while we get going, but he's here. You want to say hello to the people?
Gentlemen, pleasure.
What up?
What up, Terry?
Yeah. Kind of scared because I kind of I forgot he has keys in my house, so I'm kind of looking like, what the hell? So yeah.
Right. For the record, I did knock and announce Flint Police before I entered. I didn't hear a response, so to check for his welfare, I entered the home.
He entered. Oh yeah, I better kind of preface that. So my cousin is a police officer for the city of Flint, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell to the judge, Terry. We've heard it all before.
Yeah, so it's all good. So Santiago, what's going on with you? What's new in your world, man? What's happening?
Nothing, man. Just finished up this remix for Joshua Tree. What's that?
Which is a very dope remix. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. I'm glad you guys liked it. I was like, I wonder if they're gonna like it, but worked out perfectly. I also just finished up a remix for artist from Medellin named Archaic Revival. So I don't know when that's gonna come out. And then now getting my second release ready for Limited Network, Max Watts' label from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that coming up probably the end of this year. You know how long it takes to put vinyl out.
Yeah, it's a bit. It's a bit
process. It's a process.
Word. And Josh, what's up with you? How you been?
Been good. Just here in Detroit now for it's been about a little over a week. I've been here. Had a gig at TV Lounge on Thursday that I booked with our friend Nuntius Noctis, aka Mike Ned, and Sierra from Ohio, and they both just really killed it. I was really impressed. So I've done a couple of gigs with Mike now, as we've discussed, and then Sierra is kind of been floating around the city here. Like I said, she drives up from Ohio, but she just always comes to kill. So that was good, and had a few other meetings. Been working with the Techtroid crew and a few other things around town that we got cooking here. So yeah, things are good. And I guess as discussed just on the tail of this Music Planetarium's release with Santiago and Brenda Muller and Afrozoid. So that's been getting some good traction and reviews, and yeah, everything's good.
That's what's up. All right. So, yeah, I guess I don't really know where to start, but
what about you, man? We didn't get to ask how you doing. What you been up to?
Oh, I'm just trying to live, my brother. Trying to live. That's a generic answer, but I've been all right, man. I just worked back to working, building doors. Just came back from my mom's over the wheel yesterday. I went. We didn't work on Friday. Well, excuse me, we did work on Friday. They canceled Saturday, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to Rapids after Friday, after work. Went home, put me right to work. I was tearing apart faucets and sinks and countertops to put a new faucet in. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I did that. Went to go see him in Kalamazoo, and then jumped back here to get here in time for the show. So
The
I've been hard.
show. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Lucky Fresh, y'all.
Right. That's it. Yeah. All right. So we've been trying to hook up for a long time. Santiago. We've been talking for years. You did for when I was with my boy Brian, when we did the 616 thing. We did
That's right.
Yeah, a couple of projects.
The compilation.
I think it was the Aaron Carl compilation.
That's right. Yeah, we did that. And then I did one for 616 as well. I think there was a compilation. They put out a song.
Yeah, we did too. So it was like, it's been years in the making, man. And then right before Calder City happened, I was trying to get an EP, and then I lost distribution. And I was like, damn, I can never hook up with this guy.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite people I want to hook up with, like,
Thank you.
in the industry and stuff, you know what I mean? And just,
Yeah, same here, man.
yeah. So
I love all your work, man. Especially that track you have, Black Regis.
oh, okay.
Now, is that one of your AKAs, Black Regis?
Oh, no. So here's the thing with the Black Regis thing. So I did that release from Mike Deere on Northern Parallels. I think that was the release. Yeah. So he was like, yo, I need something, hook something up. And I did all the other tracks. I was like, I was talking to him because he actually played with Regis like maybe months ago. It was something with Regis that they played together. And I always was a big fan of like the whole Downwards thing. And, you know, that was my, but I was just thinking like, I don't know who he is. I never met him. I know I love the music, got mad Regis Records stuff. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I could be like the Black Regis. So that's what I and it came out, man. It just sounded like some Downward stuff, man. I was like, yeah, that's dope. I'm gonna name Black Regis and hope he don't get mad and get pissed off. So nothing ever happened. And I think I even sounded to him. He just looked at the messages and I never heard nothing back. So I was like, oh, fuck it.
That's a dope AKA if you ever wanted to go under one.
It could be all right, man, but I might get like the cease and desist, like, yo. And I'm broke and I ain't got money like that. So like, you know, it would just be one of them things. So
right.
Yeah, that was it, man. But huge fan, man. Huge fan. But I know I seen something. One of my questions, me and Donnell came up with some questions to ask you, along with your social security number and date of birth, because we might need that later. Just to see, like, you know, I seen an interview a long time ago you did, and I forgot with who, but it kind of brought up how you came up a little bit, but it really talked about your time with Underground Resistance. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I thought it was something like they did some type of like, kind of want to say like, I mean, like an internship kind of like thing that you actually would live with in Detroit to do stuff and learn from them and be a part. I'm not really sure how that worked, but I was always like curious, like, how did you find them? How did you find that, and what made you do that? I don't really know the whole story. Maybe you can give us like the whole story.
I mean, I could break it down. I just told the story to a friend. It basically started with a FM radio station here in Los Angeles called 92.3 The Beat. It was like a hip hop and rap and soul. But on Friday nights, they would have a show with Terrence Toy from like 10 to midnight or 12 midnight to 2 a.m. And it would always be him and another DJ, house guy from Los Angeles named Marcus White. And so Marcus closed off the show with the Gary Martin track, Technotica, featuring Simone Starr. The song was called "Take Me," and back then I used to tape all the shows. So I got the cassette, went to the record shop. I'm like, "Do you have this?" And stop. And they're like, "Yeah, we have it." I saw the phone number on there. It said Submerge. I just called it. And the person that happened to answer the phone was Mike Banks.
Mm.
And I guess at that time, Mike was getting a bunch of calls from Europe and Japan, and he had never really gotten a phone call from a Chicano brother. So he was intrigued. He's like, "Yo, are you Mexican?" I'm like, "I'm Mexican descent, but I'm Chicano." And so we just established a relationship. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to send you some promos. Can you try to get him into the record shops in Los Angeles?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, shit." So like Bridget Banks, rest in peace, she would send me a box like of all white labels, fucking, excuse me, KMS,
That's good.
Technotica, Soul City, UR. God, there's so many at the time. Siren America, is that Santonio Echoes label, I think? And so she would also send me one catalog, which back then was like 17 pages deep. And at the time, I worked at a freight company. I would take the catalog and I would use their printer, like I would use up all their paper, and I would print like I don't know 20 of them. Go back home and just pack them in the car and go to all the record shops, and they would call me the Detroit guy because I was always coming with Detroit music. And then it wasn't until '98, I Mike Banks said, "Hey, why don't you come to Detroit and see if you want to work here?" So I went there for a week. This is when they were still at 2030. And so I went there. It didn't work out. I was just about to get married. And then it was like 4 years later, he asked me again. He's like, "Do you want to come work? We have a new building. We got a new crew." But I told my then wife, I'm like, "Hey, you want to go? This is an opportunity for us." And we just both we packed up and we moved to Detroit. And it was one of the best decisions we ever made, I feel, because I think the first year of being there, all I did was I was Mike Banks' assistant basically in the studio. So we would start music at 10 o'clock at night, go till 2 and 4 in the morning. And all I did was engineer. He would teach me how to do all this stuff. So for like a year, I was just soaking in all his like the way he made tracks. And so I think that really helped me to produce music and take it to the next level when I started to do it again. Because I had started making music in '97 back home with my partners Esteban Adame, DJ Dex, aka No Nomadico, which he's still with Underground Resistance. So we were always trying to do stuff, but then it wasn't until I got that further training with Mike that really catapulted me to a whole different like sound. So
Okay.
yeah,
So when you were out in LA before, you said before you seen that, you were actually making music before that.
yeah.
See, I never knew that. I never knew that.
Oh
So-
yeah, and don't ever listen to those songs because they whack. Like really, the mixing. Like I think my first record was on a label called Aztec. So it was Esteban, and then me. I had a song, and then the other side was the label owner Gabriel Ortega. And I remember we sent the DATs in to Ron Murphy at NSC, and he tore us up. He tore me and Esteban. He goes, "Oh, this sounds like shit." And to be honest, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We didn't know, like, I actually recorded the whole song from the live gear to like a DAT tape. And it wasn't until I went to Detroit, I learned how to edit. Actually, before that, Dex knew. So Dex showed me in Pro Tools how to do some edits. So Dex helped me establish, yeah, you got to edit your music, dog. You got to put this part at the beginning and this part at the end and the big chunk in the middle. And then Mike took it a whole, like he took it further. Like he would actually record 4 to 5 different takes of a song.
Mhm.
Then he would have me go to Pro Tools and he'd be like, "All right, assemble it." I'm like, "Okay, like this is gonna be fun." So yeah, that whole procedure taught me how to really like just because you record a song for 5 minutes doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be the final product. Like you could take it to the next level with some edits. And I remember he showed me, Dex, DJ Genesis, and DJ Roach how to edit on a reel to reel. And I was like, no, like I ain't gonna do that. Like this is crazy. But then I remember in 2004 we got a Ableton, like Ableton 4, I think. And the fact that you can do everything that Mike does with that software. It just blew my mind. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I understand now why he showed us how to edit reel to reel, because now you can take that knowledge and apply it to this software. So it really, like, all those things just opened up my like mind, like how to be a better producer, how to, like, you know, just be more creative with it. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I mean, I'm still learning though. There's a lot of stuff I'm still learning. So it's like that the learning process never really stops too.
No,
So
it doesn't. I think we all learn. I mean, I learn stuff almost every time I do something. Like I still
yeah.
got way. Like actually, I learned most of my stuff from Donnell actually. So
Oh,
uh,
nice.
yeah, man, it's kind of crazy how full circle. So I was like, I met Donnell through Kiko Man. You know Kiko Man.
Yeah. From
So
Chicago?
no, Kiko's
Oh
from
yeah.
Grand
He's
Rapids, bro.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
he record for Contact,
yep,
Hyperactive's label?
yep. He sure
Some
did.
of the
Yep.
best techno, man.
Yes,
Some
he
of the
sure did.
best techno.
So Kiko, God, when I was DJing and stuff. I'm a DJing since like middle school, but it was like R&B, hip hop, stuff like that, man. And it was just like, all right, so some kind of way, I don't know. This girl I knew through somebody. She came from England and she had some tapes or whatever. Well, I mean, to be honest, like that's when I really first I knew about techno because like the house I'm in now was my grandma's. I used to come here every summer. The guy that used to live next door, this guy named James. He was like mad older. He was going to University of Michigan, so he was coming back every weekend with tapes of the Wizard. So
Wow.
he was playing all these tapes, and I'm like, "What the hell is that music?" And this is around the time like Run DMC came out, like you know what I mean. So it was like breakdance and stuff. But he's playing,
Yeah.
they was playing that type of stuff on the radio. And so I was like, "What the hell is this?" You know what I mean? And he was like, "Oh, it's techno." I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I'm thinking it's like breakdancing music, you know what I mean? So that's what he was doing. But so I kind of had some kind of knowledge of music like that, you know what I mean? Electronic music. I know it was electronic music, but fast forward, trying to do stuff in high school, and then some kind of way I just started picking up electronic music again. And a friend of mine, this guy named Mike Arizola, knew Kiko. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man, what's that trash you be playing, man? My homeboy be playing." I'm like, "What do you mean your homeboy?" He said, "My homeboy Kiko, man. He played that boom boom music and all that stuff, man. That's crazy, man. You know what I mean?" So I met him through Mike, and Mike used to, he used to DJ, he used to cut and stuff, man. He used to be at his house, him and a couple other people just doing stuff. And then Kiko came up one day. He's like, "Yo, man, it's my boy Myles I was trying to tell you about." And we kind of talked. He was doing his thing. He was like, "Yeah, so um, you like house music, like techno?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." He's like, "Yo, well, we should hang out. You been to Detroit?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "All right, so we going to a party next week. Come with us to Detroit." So you go to Detroit, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is kind of dope." So we just started hanging out, man. And like Kiko threw like the first real party in Grand Rapids, and
Nice.
so that happened. And then maybe the second or third time he was talking about Donnell and them. And I don't know how y'all know Kiko or whatever, but I met Donnell through Kiko. We clicked, and we was just hanging out all the damn time. Donnell would come up from Kalamazoo to Grand Rapids, stay at my mom's house with me, chill. We would just do stuff, and then one day he was like, "Yo, man, I kind of sound like you." I said it. Like, "Yo, man, why you always playing? You ever thought about we playing all these other people's music? We should make our own music. You should make your own music."
Sweet.
And I was like, "I just want a DJ, man." He was like, "Nah, man, just like you playing them, they can be playing your music." And so I was like, "Well, I don't even know how to make music." He's like, "Next time I come at man, bring some stuff." So that'll show up at my mom house with like all these keyboards and all this crazy shit. And we like literally like in the damn living room of my mom house, with shit everywhere, chords everywhere and shit. My mom like, "What the hell y'all doing?" And I was like, "I'm learning to make music, Bob." She's like, "I don't give a fuck what you trying to get this on." I never told Donnell this, but she was cool, man. She liked Donnell and stuff. So he would come and he would just show me shit, and that's how I learned. So yeah, we don't sound alike, but just
Right.
that's my mentor.
So at that time when you met Mr. Knox, were you putting out stuff already? Donnell?
I think when he met me, no, I hadn't had the first, because the first release I did was with Fanon,
Mhm.
and I was doing a semester up in Ypsilanti at school, and I was staying with Fanon for like a semester, and that was the first release on Sonic Mind. But no, it hadn't, because actually that first release was supposed to be with Kiko as
Oh,
well.
okay.
And
What?
Kiko, it was supposed to be me, Kiko. Basically, me and Kiko was gonna do some stuff, but then something didn't go right with that. And Fanon and I ended up doing that for that very first joint, and that was, I think, believe around 94, 93, 94. So yeah, I hadn't released nothing yet. Only thing I was already sending things to Dan Curtin, and Dan was sending my music over to Yoast in Brussels when Yoast had that Surreal Sound magazine.
Wow.
So it was already circulating in Europe a little bit, but just on tapes and everything. But yeah, at that point, I hadn't had the label started yet. The idea was there because I was sending stuff to Derek. Of course, everybody in Detroit, even remember Utensils, Dave, when Terrence was, I was sending stuff to him. Was supposed to have some things there and a few other places, but nothing. It wouldn't started yet when Myles and I was just
Man, I
working
have
on
a lot
it.
of questions for you because I'm a big fan.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Were you doing the Mindstorm stuff before Sonic Mind?
Yep, that was me. That was
Oh,
a
okay.
name. I had like Mindstorm was a name, and then Donnell Naughty Boy Knox was also a name.
Okay.
Question: the Mindstrom thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the. I could have sworn there was a record that came out that it was actually you, but they switched the labels and they thought it was Jay. Is that the same E EP?
No, there was the Surreal Sound did they put something out, the magazine owner, and there was a Mindstorm track on that, which I remember. But then on Black Nation, there was something that would the first one he did, it was 50 white labels, but people didn't really know that was me. Because the name got switched around somehow. I think only Tony Ollie's, Brett Dancer, Chance's name was on there. Maybe Fanon too at the time. I don't think Damon Lamar was on that one. But yeah, it's like somehow people didn't know. Then later, Dan Curtin figured it out. That was you. Donald Naughty Boy Knox on there, like that or something, or Naughty Boy is what it said on there.
On Sonic Mind 001, Fanon Flowers track is a crazy name. It's like DJ Trumpet.
Yeah,
something track.
First trumpet DJ track.
First trumpet DJ. What the hell does that mean? Is that like just?
With Fanon, he be in space sometimes, man. I'm not saying nothing in a bad way.
No. I feel
he's like, I really don't know. I never even asked him, man, what was the reasoning behind the name?
I love it.
I know the reasoning behind mine. I know the reason. All my stuff's based on spirituality.
Right.
Like for my label and everything I do is just the purpose is to get people's vibrations to raise to a higher level and to help them actually enter the spirit domain while they're still in the physical domain. That's the whole reasoning behind. That's why I have the Spirit Man and the thing that the label that you see on the front. You think some people say it looks like Adidas, but it actually means turning up, raising your frequency up, like turning up the volume. And then when you flip it to the back, you've entered the spirit world. So that's why I had the Spirit Man, which kind of Richie Houghton I kind of not took it from him because I saw he had Plastic Man, but I said, man, I was already thinking of that anyway, having some kind of Spirit Man. So then I got this nice graphic lady that used to make the designs for Taco Bell and Burger King, I think it was. She was living in like Vicksburg, Michigan. She did the first artwork for me for Sonic Mind. So
amazing.
Yeah, that's how all that stuff came about. But yeah, that thing with Fanon, I really am dope track, but I really don't know how he come up with that name for that. Maybe he was just, a little bit too much one day or something, and we're gonna call it that. But that's another story about that first release, man. It was crazy how that thing came out because I really didn't have no money. I barely had money for school, but I just knew I wanted to get it out, but it really thanks to Dan Curtin, because I was supposed to be an artist on his label and release for him. He's the one that convinced me, just start, your own label. I'll give you the numbers to Ron and to Archer, so you can get it mastered and pressed yourself. And then he said I'll
Wow,
distribute it, because he had a distribution company with his record store down in Cleveland at the time.
that's
So
nice.
it's like, had I not met him down at the in Cleveland at the Smart Bar, when Jay and all of us had a show down there, that's how I linked up with Dan, because it was a little crazy situation. I don't want to go too long because we need to ask you questions, but long story short, we supposed to have a show down in Cleveland. Jay last minute tells me I have to do my own show. So I got like 3 hours at night to put something together. We get down to Cleveland. We do the show. I get Brett Dancer. He like MCs for me. Tony Funkmaster, who's another like well-known DJ in Kalamazoo. He was working the drums. I finished my set. Dan Curtin rushes the stage. We link up, we talk, and we keeping in touch and everything. And because of him, I mean, Sonic Mind wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him and a
Wow.
lot of things. So Dan Curtin's like also a huge influence too,
Yeah, Dan's dope, man.
music wise.
One of my favorite people. Just like not just musically, but just as a person, man. Like every time I try to go to, we didn't hook up this time, unfortunately, but that's like one of my go-to people. Like
Hmm.
questions about stuff and just in general, man. It's a good person to know, man. For real.
Good.
Yeah.
But we do have a question for you, man, because as you was talking about, Mike showing you some stuff. I kind of wanted to ask you what was like the daily life there though, like in Detroit for you. Not only like emerged and submerged, but like just because it's different in LA, obviously, but just the
Way different.
day, yeah, like how was your daily life there? Your interactions with people, business and the music business, but also just normal daily life itself. And how was it around Submerge? Like just hanging out there and like just normal stuff. I'm just always curious because
Um,
I know Mike and know them well, but I don't know, all the little stuff what was happening.
well, when I moved out there to Detroit, I came first. My then wife and my son stayed back in Los Angeles for about 6 months till they came.
Mhm.
And then we found a place with the help of DJ Rolando. His sister had owned some homes in Southwest Detroit. So Rolando was living on the bottom floor, but he was always gone. He was always traveling,
Okay.
playing. And so we moved upstairs. And so from there on, man, we just basically hung out at Submerge. And I would honestly say it was night and day. It was like a culture shock for us because Los Angeles is Los Angeles, and Detroit is Detroit. Um, but we got used to it. The people at Submerge were so friendly to us. They would help us out with anything that we needed. Bridget was a big help. And my first 2 years, I would say the top floor was the production suite. So like Mike had a studio up there, Gerald Mitchell had a studio up there. Eventually, Orlando Vorn had a studio up there. And when Orlando Vorn moved in, see, I would work the mail order. So if you bought something through our website, I would pack it up. So I would get there like at 5 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to get shit done.
Mhm.
And every time I would get there at 5, you would hear from the third floor music being banged out, and it was Gerald and it was Vorn. They would be up making hits, like so. I'll be like, man, I'm here packing shit. I want to go home and make some music too. So I think having that top floor being so productive really helped me out. I want to say probably helped DJ 3000 out, to help DJ Dex out. We just all were inspired by their their aggressive way of making music, and just every day, man. Especially Vorn, dude. Orlando Vorn is a beast in the studio. That guy,
Mhm.
when you hear his music, it's love. It's he's a master too. And him and Gerald, it seemed like they were going at it, like, but not really. But like Vorn will be making music, then you hear Gerald pump out like some dope ass stuff. So I think it was a healthy like
Mhm.
competition.
Mhm.
And I do have a story. So Mike was about to release Aguila, which is the follow-up of the Aztec Mystic. And Mike had hit up Vorn, hey, I need a remix. But Vorn was just, he put it to the side. So I remember I go, hey Mike, let me give it a shot. And I did this 7-inch, like 3-minute version of it. And it was just like a jacky ass track. While when Vorn heard it, he's like, oh hell no, I'm gonna get on a 12-inch. That's not the end. Orlando created this beautiful remix. Like, so I like to think that I was part of the spark that made him like kick ass. But I was like, Mike's like, well, hey, Santi, sorry, your remix is not gonna make it for the 12-inch, but we're gonna put you on a 7-inch. I'm like, I don't care.
Nah.
That's great. Like, I'll take it. So
Yeah.
yeah, Vorn is a beast.
Yeah. I seen that dude even when I went down to Atlanta. I think it was a few summers back. Yeah. I got family down there.
Oh, nice.
So I was staying at my aunt's house, and then he, because he's down there living. So I told him when I, come in town, flow through. So he came through, man, and he brought his just brought his little MacBook. And I said, okay, so let's go to like one of my favorite pubs. Like it's about a mile down the road. It's called Twain's because they got, some good food in there. And we get in the car and he like plugs his MacBook into the to the radio, and he starts like making tracks in Ableton and playing. Yeah, I was like, dude, and we drive, Atlanta, you know how it is when you drive there. You got all them lanes, people driving crazy. And he just like, yeah, check this out, man. I was like, this kind of dope though. Like I never had nobody do that. Actually put their MacBook, plug it into my car, and then he's showing me tracks he's got right there. So that was interesting. If I would have my camera at the time, I would have recorded that and put that on YouTube. But
that would have been awesome
even
to
then.
watch.
So I say he's a beast, even on that MacBook, man.
He's beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, he dope, man. Bro.
But I didn't know that he was living there in Detroit. I thought I had heard it maybe from Jay, but it's good to hear you say that. Like,
Yeah, he came, I think, I want to say either late 2002 or 2003. I remember Blake Baxter came down with him.
Okay.
And him and Blake and Mike talked, and they're like, hey, Orlando needs a place to stay. So he basically lived on the 3rd floor in the studio and had a bed in there. And he was just cranking tunes out. Like all that igniter stuff that he put out through Submerge was all made upstairs. And it's still some of the most timeless techno. Like I still play it. So
But you were there before him, correct?
yes, I was there before him. I was there before Dex. So yeah.
Kind of like the same situation.
As far as
like I'm gonna go to Detroit and I'm gonna learn from Mike, kind of the same thing, or
for Dex or for Orlando?
For Orlando.
No, I think he just needed a place to stay, and Mike's like, okay, I could put you up in there, but you're basically gonna put out records, so he's
right.
Let's
like,
do it.
Because he's like from the if I'm not mistaken, he's Dutch. He's from the Netherlands, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's one person you should get out here to tell you. I'm sure he's got many stories.
Yeah. We've spoke a few times, man. Like early, like Facebook time. You know what I mean? This business here, so yeah, that's a good idea though, for sure.
Yeah.
Dang. But did you see anybody else float through there, like Jay, Terrence, Juan, Derek?
Yeah,
Mike
everybody, man.
Yeah,
I saw Scott Grooves. I saw who else did we see? I want to say that electro guy from I'm blanking out his name. He's one of my favorites, but Mr. Day was there from Electro Funk at the time. He was working at Submerge, so he had all his people coming in, and all that Electro Funk is dope. But yeah, there would be a lot of people stopping by, especially from around the world. You just get guests all the time who just wanted to go to SID, so that was always a treat to like sell vinyl to fans, But I would say there was one group of UR fans that I really didn't care for, and I know this might be controversial, but they were the old heads, and they would come in, and I would be working the store, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, we're only interested in UR001 through UR020," because it was more of the rave stuff. So that that was from that time. I'm like, man, you're missing out on the rest of the stuff, man, you got to go for the whole journey, like from the rave, and then they went really high tech funk, high tech jazz, really soulful stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't really care for those people too much, but I took their money anyway. So
Right, right.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Damn, yeah, man. I got some stories someday. Someday I'll have to share my stories with you guys off here about my first meetings with everybody, like
yeah.
way back in the day. I'm the guy that ran from Derek May's dog, the story that from Mau Mau, he still tells that story to the
Wow,
day, a long time ago. But one day we'll chop it up, maybe on here. I'll share it on here
sounds
as
good.
well.
Right, right.
Mm.
So my next question would be like, since we're talking about the whole your time at UR and the time in Detroit, um, since you've done all that, now you're back in LA. I know there's a huge difference between Detroit and LA, especially in the music thing.
Big
So,
time.
um, your decision to go back, I'm assuming, is because your family is in LA,
Right.
and that's where you're at right now. So,
Yeah.
kind of lost with my questioning, but so when you're in LA, what's happening there? I mean, what's happening with you in LA, music wise, in LA?
Um, I've held down a dub lab show since 2015, called Santuario, which has really helped me stay involved with the music scene.
Hmm.
As far as like listening to new artists, going on SoundCloud, listening to new DJs. Um, what I try to do is get local DJs from LA that aren't really big and give them a platform, I guess. So that's very healthy for me as far as just to continue to listen to the music more. But I'm like, dude, I've been listening to house and techno, electros, God, every day since the 90s, man. Like I think I'm in it for the long run. Like I think I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be in my 80s with the cane listening to, oh, who's this new music? Who's this new like it's just it's never boring. Like there's always new artists coming out. There's even the artists that started back in the 90s are still fresh, like Donnell, shit.
Oh, thank
Um, but like there's so many other artists from house to techno that are still being innovating. As far as Los Angeles, it's I guess it's pretty hard for me to get gigs here. I mean, I do play quite often, but like I think some of the promoters think I either I'm a house DJ because the mixes they'll choose to listen to are house. Like I mean, I go through my phases where I'm craving lyrics, I'm craving soulful music, so I'll make a house mix. I'll put all vocals like soulful stuff, gospel stuff. Then I'll go through my techno phase where I just want to, bang it out. So like I don't know if you guys saw my SoundCloud page. I just put out a hip hop mix of this one artist named Arrow Eats Everything, and
Yep.
it's all hip hop. And it's like I don't really give a fuck. I'm just gonna keep doing whatever makes me want to make a mix, I guess. And
you. Hmm.
Now,
so
where
yeah.
you go from? Because I literally just downloaded that off of maybe like 3 weeks ago. I seen it
Oh
pop
wow.
on my feed on Apple Music, and it's dope. I know he's
It
more.
is.
It's dope as hell, yo.
Yeah, it's like it's new. It sounds like it's from the 90s, but it's not.
Mhm.
And the lyrics, the bars, it's just like I mean, I was listening to it every day for a week on YouTube Music, but I was getting tired of it, like listening to each track. So I found his album on Bandcamp, and I was like, let me just make a mix so I can listen to it at
Mhm.
work while I'm vacuuming and mopping or whatever. And yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, that's a dope. It took me like a good like. I had to listen. There was like maybe like 2 or 3 tracks that really stood out when I'm like, and I was at work, so I'm building doors and stuff like doing it.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, wait a minute, let me go back. But then when I listened to it like 2 or 3 times, I was like, damn, this is dope.
Yeah, it's dope. It knocks too. Like you put
Yeah,
that
man.
bass up.
Yeah, and I was kind of on this weird like pro black political stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good man, it's really dope.
Which is something that's kind of missing, I think. I mean, I'm not too up on the hip hop scene now. I'm sure there's other artists that do it, but his album really spoke to me. I'm like, oh yes, he's speaking truth. Like,
Yeah, it did make it. It brought me back to like almost like I won't say Paris, but something in that vein, but a little
Yeah.
more happy a little bit. But
Yeah.
it was dope, man. It was
Yeah.
dope. It was really dope. So I was like, yo, this dude's dope, man. So it's funny. I wouldn't expect. I gotta check your mix out though, because when you said that, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I looked at that shit like a couple of weeks ago.
And who I think I'm gathering salsa music now. So like now I
Mhm.
think I want to do a salsa mix of like just fuck it.
Okay.
Why not? You know?
Right.
Why not?
That's cool. What's up with you, Josh? You kind of quiet down there. What's happening?
Well,
What up, Josh?
I'm enjoying, the opportunity to listen to you guys, and so but I at the same time I can relate with what Santiago's saying and just being in a certain mood musically and in terms of mixing. People tend to think of me as a house DJ, and I tend to kind of use their expectations against them a little bit in my bookings. There's definitely been times when I was put on a lineup, and I think everybody expected me to play house, and I
Oh wow.
went down a very different corridor, much to their dismay, because I was in a mood.
Right.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that before, and just kind of like taken all their nice glasses and pushed them off the table slowly, kind of thing. And I mean, at the 2-year anniversary we did for my speaker box residency that Myles headlined, I got that mix posted on Mixcloud, and I think the first half is not the first half, but the first section of it is hip hop, and I've done just hip hop mixes at that venue before, and people came up to
Nice.
me afterwards like, oh my God, I've never heard you play a hip hop mix, in public before, and it's like, yeah, I know. So I can relate with that, and I think creatively, I mean, no hate onto guys who hone their sound very specifically, but as a DJ, I just need to kind of while out sometimes and go in weird directions. I've been weirdly focused on this kind of two-steppy, stuff that I think sounds weird out of the UK for past year or two, and I'm finally like getting sick of that. But now I have these artists that just now there were names I would scroll over before, and now there's just so much out there. Like you're saying, you can never know it all. So
Yeah.
it's just the
feel you,
journey.
man.
Yeah.
I feel you. I've been on a little drum and bass jungle kit
Mhm.
myself. Some reason I'm like, oh, Goldie. I'm feeling
Yeah.
like I want to be like Goldie a little bit, and make a few drum and bass mixes, and even listening to some just like how we used to play it on the parties back in the days. You had your techno room, your house room, your jungle room, ambient room. But yeah, I've been on that tip, so I understand where you're coming from, man.
And that's funny that you say that, the ambient room, the jungle room, because when I first started to get into this music, I lived in a place called the San Gabriel Valley, which is east of Los Angeles, and it was notorious for party crews. So I was part of a like party crew too, but like I mean, you would go to these backyard parties, guys. They would play everything like Latin freestyle, hip hop. They would even slow it down so couples can dance like to like love songs. Then they would have a punk band play. So like it was very healthy for us like as teens to like experience all that. Like you would just hear everything house, like the early house music. So like I kind of miss that about parties, like not having too much of a flavor, you know.
I never see that in Europe, because I remember when I started playing in Europe, like early, I said most you guys mainly just do it in the clubs or something. But I said when back in the days, man, even on Richie's parties or something, in those cornfields, you could just, people selling tapes, in the front area. You might have some food over there or merchandise, and you go, like you said,
Nice.
you go over here, you got maybe even hip hop in this room, or
Yeah.
some chill out, and you got a place where you can go and talk. And those are the kind of parties I came up on,
Okay.
which sometimes people like downtown Kalamazoo, if they did do some nights, then it would be in a club, and then you would only have that. But it just seems like I attended more of the, well-rounded things where you got a choice to go here or there, and those were nice. So when I hear you say that, yeah, I can relate. But when you said the music, because I was in the Marine Corps, I was in the reserves for 3 years. So when I was out in Oceanside, California, I remember they had this E club on base, and they were actually playing house music, which was surprised me. But I was hearing some of the music you were just mentioning, like on a Latin tip. But it was, you can go to this part of the club, you was hearing that, and something was outside. So I was surprised it was doing that up on that Marine base,
I
half
missed
Navy,
that.
half Marine base. Yeah, I miss those kind of parties too, man. Yeah.
Yo, D-KNOX, I'm gonna fan out on a record of yours. You released in 1996 off Morbid Records.
Oh yeah, more. Oh yeah, the
The
cheap.
Art Jung I or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was it was their sister label for the Cheap Records.
Yeah, that
Uh-huh.
record blew my mind, man. That record, I hold it up there to like when I first heard Drexia. I just remember when I bought that record, I was just like listening to it in the headphones, be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I mean, some of the songs were only like 2 minutes long too. It
Mhm.
was just an experimental record. Like, what's the story behind that? Like,
Yeah, it's a story. Basically, man. Yeah, I think about my last couple of weeks for that semester up in Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti, when I was staying with Fanon, and I saw he had that Cheap Records, and I
right.
actually liked the tracks on there. I was like, oh, it's nice. So I took the number and just kept it on paper, but I didn't send them anything. So I go back to Kalamazoo, go back to my apartment, and I just start making tracks, man.
Wow.
Like I usually do, because back then I was just I wasn't like really releasing yet, but just making stuff. And the situation was I called them, and he answered the phone, we talked, and
Hmm.
he said, yeah, just send me some tracks. So I said, okay, I'm gonna put some stuff together. And in my apartment, I think even the last, I was working on a track and I like almost finished it. And I said, man, I'm thirsty. I need to go to the gas station to get something. So I left, went to Speedway, was only gone 10 minutes, man. I came back to my apartment. Someone came in that quick, stole my stuff. I'm talking about my 909. I got this 909 not too long ago up in Grand Rapids at a pawn shop on 44th Street. And
Damn.
it used to belong to the DeBarges. So
Man,
like
Oh,
because one of the brothers was, he was on crack. So he took his 808, his 909 to the pawn shop and like was trying to get money. But the guy said after 3 weeks, he said, okay, you can take the 909, and it had a burnt mark on it too. So I know they had been smoking.
man, you
So
had Chico DeBarge's drum
I had
machine?
I had
I'm just
their 909 and actually the DX100 that I have now, even I think it used to belong to Derek because Jay sold it to me.
wow.
So okay, they come in. They didn't take my Sega Genesis. I had money laying around, weed laying around. They take nothing else, man. They just took they took my Juno 106, my 909, my EPS 16 plus, and the disc. And they didn't take the DX. I think it looked like a toy for them. They took some microphones and a few little things, and they didn't take the real, none of the tapes, thank God.
Okay.
So I was just standing there for like, like a mannequin for like 5 minutes. I couldn't even. I was just looking around like So I called Jay. Did you come here? Did you take stuff? You're like, nah, dog. You're like, he came through. He said, oh, they took my mic because he had some stuff there too.
Oh,
And I was like,
wow.
somebody actually got in here. I said, so maybe it was fake because if I had been home, maybe they would have. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe they knew what they were coming to take. There's a few theories going around of who it could have been or who did or whatever. But that was the story behind it, because those last tracks that I was working on before the stuff got took was the stuff for him, for the
And
for that label.
going back to that record, you have a picture of yourself in the studio with all your gear. Is that the gear that was stolen?
That was some of it, yeah.
Wow.
That
So
some of
you
that gear
you
on
you
that.
snapped that
Mhm.
picture before.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like funny, like an ex girlfriend. Yeah, she was from India. She took that picture of me like a long time ago. That's how I got all my spiritual concepts and stuff from her, because she was on this spiritual tip. So she kind of, because I was doing things I shouldn't be doing. I was saying high school, from 14 to
Yeah.
17, and I didn't need to be doing stuff. But she's the one that like, hey, you could be more like this and that. So she took that picture, and that's actually in my mom's basement. So that's not
Wow.
even at the apartment where they stole it from me. Because like the apartment I moved into was a few blocks away from my mom's house, because I still wanted to be close to her. And that's where they came in and just took the stuff. And I said,
Man,
man,
you have to frame that picture, man.
well, it's on the, I don't know where it's probably my mom's house somewhere, the photo.
Okay.
Because I think I sent it to them.
Yeah.
So they made a, or maybe he sent it back to me. But I know they re-released that thing. And at first I told him not to do it. I said, because I was going to do it. But then the better, my higher self thought, wait a minute, let them release it because they've still known it was part of their thing. They're going to put some money behind it. It don't make no sense for you to be trying to call yourself releasing it. But if you want the digital files, he sent me the digital files remastered.
Wow.
Other than was on that. So I have them sitting on
man, you already know I vinyl transferred that to WAV files. So yeah,
but
I needed those.
That EP was simple, man. It was just the MMT8, DX100, Juno 106, probably the JX3 3P too, and maybe the Juno Alpha, Roland Juno Alpha too, because those are the things I was mainly using. And then running it through the little Mackie mixing board to just straight to tape. But the magic was the tape, man. The magic was the tape because you ran everything hot into the tape, and it gave it that crunchiness. You just as long as it didn't stay in the red, it can bounce in the red. But if it stayed in the red, that was horrible. But if it bounced in the red, that was perfect saturation. So that's how that thing came about, man. It's just, I mean, the formula is still the same. I still make tracks pretty much the same way. I just try to make it so it fits in to the days now. Like I'll do enough, and I might send it to somebody, say, hey, if you can make it a little bit louder or clean it up or something. But I'm not changing the way
the formula.
Yeah, no, it's just still fun. It's supposed to be fun, right? The stuff's supposed to stay fun. If it's not fun anymore, what's the point?
Right.
So making money is cool because we want to make money, and I kind of disagree with people when they say that, oh man, it's going to overground and it's getting commercial. But actually, okay, let it do that. You can still do your thing and make some money because there's more people around to get to your stuff. So don't think that it shouldn't go. You don't have to go commercial. You can stay in your own lane, but you just got more people that you can potentially, showcase your music to. So
agreed. Yeah.
But we should do something, man. All of us on here, we'll do a little, because Myles and I are gonna start doing some stuff together.
Oh,
so you have to do some remixes.
Dangerous.
Get involved, man. Like always.
Anything y'all need, if that ain't clear.
I hope so.
Right on. Welcome, Terry.
Hey, fellas. I gotta go. See ya.
Oh, that's
That audio's skipping a little for me.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, kind of echo. Let me see. Maybe close.
Yeah, you guys are coming in and out. I don't know if it's a bandwidth thing or an audio thing.
Probably close. Yeah, here in it's awesome. Let's try a little bit. Frank, can you hear me? It's encouraged.
Nope.
Yeah.
How about can you hear me? A little bit?
Your mic comes in about every 3 seconds and then goes out for 4.
That's weird.
Your mic comes in about every 3 seconds.
Yep.
And goes out for 4.
Oh,
I'm trying to share this thing, man, somehow on because I opened it up on my phone. I can see this, but I'm trying to share it to my Instagram somehow. I now hear myself late. That's funny.
Yeah, we got an echo from your guys' end, I think.
Anyone I share this video, okay, but I gotta share it with only people.
Hey, Myles.
yes.
You did a record with a vocalist from Pittsburgh or
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's from a group called Johns or something like.
Mega Johns. So one of my best friends in England, Will, aka some such, he knows. God, I forgot his name.
Yeah, it's not Mega Johns. That's the name of the group, huh?
Yeah, that's the name of the group. So it's him and the guy who did the vocals for me. And we were talking one day or something. I was like, "Yo, you think your boy would do some vocals for me?" And he's like, "Yeah, just hit him up." And I'm so mad. Do you have the God? His name is Will too. There you go.
Yeah.
So it's Will and Will. They came up with this thing, Mega Johns. Like John is like a Philly thing. I don't like slang or something, so I really don't know what it is. So, and that's their group they did together. And the guy can sing, man. He sings his
Yes.
ass. So I was like, Will, can you give me Will's email address? I'm gonna try to hit him up and see if he would do something for me. And he said, yeah, sure. I was like, well, look, I'm just gonna send you the track, man. He's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I was like, do what the hell you want to. I don't care. Just put some vocals on it. So I started the track in like less than 24 hours. He sent it back. And that's that.
Are you guys gonna do anything new or?
I haven't talked to that Will in a long time.
Okay.
I know they've done like 2 albums together because my friend Will from England, he I think he still works for the BBE, and they put both of those albums on BBE.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So I did a remix for them a while back when that first album came out, but I believe they still work together. I know my English Will comes over to Philly at least every other year, and they just camp out. And the other Will has a full-fledged studio in his basement. So I think he does like voiceover work and does other stuff too. But when they get together, it's like that's all they do for like weeks upon weeks, and they come out with a new album like in less than 10 days.
Amazing.
Mixed down stuff. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind doing anything else, but I think for me it was kind of like a phase that I was just kind of doing something. I wanted to do something different. So yeah.
Okay.
But this thing with D-KNOX, man, we've been talking about this for a while, just to see what we can do. But schedules and this different stuff happening, man. We got other stuff. It's no priority, but it's gonna come out. It should be dope. So hopefully, if not, I don't know. What my fault?
No, it's gonna be dope. It has to be because we're not trying to just being ourselves and being real. And this is just what we've been doing so long. So it's just some people say, "Oh, it's so easy for you." No, it's just if you've done things for a long time and you in it, you feel the vibe. Then it's just natural. You're gonna make some good music.
Nice.
It's not like going to work. Punching the clock and you just babysitting your watch the whole time till you get off or something. That's unless you like your work, that's the thing. But Santiago, I was going to ask you something else about LA. I also wanted to get a idea of what daily life is there too, because I wasn't up in LA that much. When I was in the Marines, I was mainly down in San Diego and Oceanside and Escondido and all those places.
Yeah.
But just on a day-to-day, how does it look like? Hustle and bustle of LA, sunshine all the time, where people.
Yeah, it is. I would say it's a working class community where I live. It's not like in Hollywood or anything like that. Like, and then we're so lucky to have so many different climates like around us. Like we have the beach that's maybe about 45 minutes away. We got the mountains, which is about an hour away. We got the deserts that are about an hour and a half away. So we're pretty blessed with all like my whole backyard is just a mountain range, which I love, which is one of the things I missed when I moved to Detroit because Detroit ain't got no hills, no mountains. So like where I work, no mountains, no hills. Where I work, I have this beautiful view of the mountains, like just beautiful, So, but yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Oh, just because for me, like when I hear someone say a little bit, I see this daily. I'm on my way to work. I'm just saying like every little thing like people do on social media, but just I was just trying to get an idea of how it looks
Yeah,
like to you.
I don't really, I guess I don't follow that social media part of
Mhm.
LA as
Yeah.
much. I work every day. I work as a custodian at elementary school.
Mhm.
So that takes up most of my time. And yeah, I just come home, turn on the equipment, I either record a mix or I make some music. So
Mhm.
one of my biggest projects I just did is that I bought a CD drive and I've been importing all my CDs. And my next step in that is to start sampling some of the stuff and try to make tracks around some of the stuff that I've owned since since the early 90s, so I'm looking forward to that, just to give it a change up in making music instead of trying to make something from scratch. I feel like I want to sample and I want to build on top, so just to
Yeah.
see what it does. Like, it's something that I'm craving, so I know at least one song is gonna come out of it. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Going to work.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's I was just I thought I asked that, then you hit on the work. 'Cause I was gonna ask a little something about that too. Like, how does that look like for you? Like are you in there with your headphones on?
Oh yeah.
Listening, yeah.
Like, dude, so like I work the evening shift, so by 6 o'clock everybody's gone, kids,
Okay.
staff. I throw on those headphones and I'm like, if I'm feeling really tired, I'll throw on the mix and I'll just start vacuuming really fast, dancing. I don't care. Like, there's
Mhm.
no one there anyways.
Yeah.
I'll be mopping and just dancing. So like, yeah, I think the music really helps me to get work done at a quick pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Techno always helps.
compared to Detroit, LA is more sunshine.
Oh yeah.
Would you say people are happier, smiling because of the sun, or was it about the same as in Detroit or on that level? Like in Michigan, you go to the corner store, foods just come in there getting whatever snacks they're getting, compared to like LA, people coming in the store. It's not like Old Dog and Kane going in there,
Yeah.
but that would be Detroit actually. But I was just trying to get a idea of like in LA, are they more happier, versus in
Yeah.
Michigan when it's cold and people can just be different.
I mean, I always joke because everybody asks me like, "Oh, how is it living in the city you live in, which is San Gabriel?" It's
Mhm.
like 10 miles east of downtown Los Angeles. And my joke is, I love it. It's peaceful, and there's no cholos there. I don't know if you know what a cholo is.
I heard it, but maybe you can explain it just a little bit.
It's
So that
a it's like the Mexican gangs. They're called cholos. And
okay,
where I grew up in Bassett, which is further out east, all we had was cholos. So my joke is, yeah, I love it there. There's no cholos. It's peaceful.
okay,
So, but you did hit on something. Like, you are right. There are certain parts of Los Angeles that hey, watch your back.
hmm
Maybe don't go at this liquor store. Maybe drive a few blocks this way. So the same applies to
okay.
everywhere. I think. Yeah, like in Detroit, there was certain liquor stores I did not feel safe in, but then there were other ones where I did. And I learned the hard way. They don't call them liquor stores in Michigan. They call them party stores. And I was like,
Mhm.
I remember I was in a truck with Rolando and DJ Bone, and one of them said, "Hey, you want to go hit up the party store?" And it was like 11 o'clock at night. The first thing that came to my head, like, why do you guys need to go to a party store to buy balloons or something? They're like, no, man, the party store. It's where they sell drink. I'm like, oh, a liquor store. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I got used to it after like a couple of months there of hearing, yo, you want to go to the party store? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, let's go.
Might be a good
I'm
name for
learning.
a party, the party store.
Party store. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, man. Yeah, it gives me a little synopsis into your daily
Yeah.
day.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
a boring individual. Like, I work, eat, make music, DJ, recycle, and do it again. So
I think a
I
lot of people, I think a lot of producers, sometimes,
yeah.
I can remember so many Saturdays, man. My friends, let's go to the club, man. be some girls there. Let's hang out. And I just chose, you know what, man? I just bought this, this reel-to-reel tape. Cost me $10. I got to do some recording. So,
Nice.
if I'm done, I'll see y'all. If not, I'm gonna be here. Then I just remember Fridays buying a bunch of, making a bunch of stuff, and then doing the edits the next day when I was fully mentally ready for it.
Yeah.
That'd be my weekend, and then back to school, and then back to work, and then next weekend the same old thing. But those sacrifices paid off. While they were going to the clubs,
you were
picking up
making music for the club. Yeah.
Yep. But they were boring because you'd be like, man, they out here having fun. I'm sitting up in my room, making tracks. Like, now I'm back to work already in school on Monday. And they telling me all this crazy stuff they did at the club, or they drove up to Holland, Michigan to some club up there, just walling out. But now, they're telling me, man, you're over in Europe, man. Like, kind of wish I would have did what you did. Like, you living over there, and like, so, well, that was a sacrifice back then.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what, like, we all know people who have burnt out or haven't had the longevity in this business, in this industry. It's not hard to kind of fall into temptation or whatever it is and go off on the wrong path. So I to me, and this is something that I've learned in more recent years, is that sustainability and that, like, that guy who's still there day in, day out, and like year in and year out, like, that life looks a lot more boring than the people who are on, I don't want to call it on the fringe, because it's a lot of the people who are in sort of the party world are there for a reason, and it's the go, and that's just not sustainable over years, especially when you're an artist, and it's not like you're really at the core of it all. It's different than just like spending a weekend there. Like, so it's just something I think the professionals in the industry really have to be aware of, and a lot of people aren't prepared for, at all. So.
Oh yeah. I used to, when I first started to DJ, it was like in 1995. I was playing at after hours every Monday night from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And I never did drugs, but I remember at the end of the night, people will come up to me and hand me eight balls. And I'd be like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, how do you stay up and play this music for 6 hours? I'm like, I love this music. Like, this music is dope, So yeah, that's one thing I never got into. Like, I never had a reason to get into it, to drugs. The music was such a drug for like me, So it still is, I know that sounds cliche, but
not
this
at all.
music, this music is just always evolving. If not, it's sounding fat and dope and bassy, and that's the drug. Like, especially when you're mixing and you mix two songs and they create that. Saw someone say that recently. I think it was Eddie Folks. He said it creates that third song, and whenever I do that, I get chills up my spine. Like, oh, this is creating a new song. Like, that is the drug I like. That's the high I'm always chasing when I'm mixing. Like, I'm trying to create that third song, like, So it's always a struggle to get to that level of getting those chills down your spine.
That is a chase.
Yeah, it's a chase.
Spiritual,
but it's worth it.
Yeah, it's
Donnell
very much.
Man, and that's where your energy comes from. That's your vibe right there, man.
Yes.
Creating that, and you're in that space right there. Nothing else matters, man. You can go all day, man. 6 hours. Who needs drugs, man?
Yeah, seriously.
Right there. That's where you're getting it from. That's that I got from Donnell, what he was saying.
Well, check this out. I got an announcement to make, and y'all gonna fucking kill me for this. So I just realized that this is the third show, with all the super guests and all that stuff. So I'm looking at the damn streaming thing. I'm like, how come I can't see Facebook and YouTube, but we're streaming live on Instagram?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yep.
So I went back because it's my first time trying to stream all three. I was actually doing 4, but it didn't show up for some reason. So I hate to say it, but I do think I know that the show has been recording. It's going to be archived. So
Okay.
I will upload that archive. But as far as the live streaming, the past like hour is kind of like it's not there unless you're on Instagram. So everybody, I'm sorry. Please kill me later. But I have
Yeah,
to.
my girl was saying, "Hey, I don't see it streaming on the link I sent her for YouTube."
And nobody said nothing. So if you guys see
Wow.
on the screen, I'm sitting here deteriorating, like texting messages. It's like, yo, check out, see if it's on Facebook, see what's on Instagram.
Yeah.
And management's not going to be happy, Myles.
The
Ah,
Not happy, but the management understands we all make mistakes, right? People,
yes, sir.
well, it's there. So, I mean, just to recap, we basically asked Santiago like when he got out of prison, what happened to those kids and stuff like that. But I'm
Oh
just
my
joking.
God.
Jeez.
It's been cool though. We was basically
I ain't never been to prison, man. I've
Me
been in
either.
jail, but not prison. So.
no,
Yeah.
not at all, not at all.
Same.
We basically we can probably go back. So hopefully everybody you'll see because it was an excellent. We're not done yet unless they want to go, but I mean, we basically kind of recapped the time at you are what he's doing now, and I guess going back, we can go back to something. So God, how can I say that? So your time with your art was you learning and you did your thing. So like at this current moment, what's the situation with you in them now? Are you really I thought you just released something on UR. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be I seen something like recently.
No, no, I haven't. So I officially got out of my contract with UR to record on Planet E like in 2004, 2005.
Okay.
So that's officially when I left UR, which I kind of regret because I still feel I have a lot more to release. I only released like a handful of stuff. I did a lot of edits. Um, but yeah, we're still friends. Me and Mike still talk. I still buy all their music and I support all the artists. DJ Dex, Nomadico, he's currently a member still, so that's great. That LA connection is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Esteban Adame plays with the live bands, so like he's a piano maestro. Like if you guys ever get the chance to see him play in your city, go see him. He plays jazz, he plays salsa, he bangs the hardest techno. So yeah, he's like a quadruple force. But no, the label that I am putting out stuff through Submerge is Limited Network, which is the young guy Max Watts' label.
Okay.
So that's keeping me on my toes. Like we're working on an electro project. He'll send me a track to do an edit on because he just can't do it. So that's keeping me, stay fresh with it. So yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
So you said you regret leaving.
Yeah, I had went to Planet E because me and Esteban started a group called Econ, which is short for Mexican. It's like ICAN.
I remember
And
that.
we released 12 inches with that and we did some live shows. Um, but then Esteban continued his education through music and now he's a professor, which is one of the best decisions he ever made. And then like that kind of left me to make music on my own, which is a good thing, like I think if I would have stayed with him, maybe I wouldn't have made some of the music that I did. Like I did me and Juan Mendez, aka Silent Servant, started a record label back in 2008 called Historia Violencia. So that was a nice output of music.
Mm-hmm.
I think that still stands the test of time. Like just with our sound, we really had something there. So
That's cool.
yeah.
So are you connected with most of the LA people? Because I know we've talked about like I'll actually I did get the gig. I will be in LA October 11th.
I saw that. Yeah, that's Destroy All.
Yeah, man. So that's what's up,
Give him
man.
a shout out, man.
Yeah, what's up to you guys at Destroy Planet Earth? Thank you for bringing me out. Hopefully, I won't want you.
Oh no, they're a group of young DJs that I mean the one member, well, I wouldn't say she's a member, but her name is Xio, XIO. She's been on my Santuari show twice, and She bangs, dude. So
Mm.
I think either her friends and partners are from Destroy All Planet. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they're just a group of young Chicano Latino artists that just bang. They just bang, dude. They just want
Mhm.
to party and play good ass techno and house music. So yeah,
Yeah, that's what's up, man. They seem pretty cool. I've been talking back and forth for like
yeah.
last year, man. So he was like, "Yeah, we want to bring you out." What you know how that go, you know what I mean? But they actually did, so that's dope, man.
But you asked me about my connections with LA. Like one of
Like,
the
like cool, like you connect with like I know a developer and somebody else out there, a few other people, but like you
yeah
developer and stuff like.
developer us
So I,
Nomadical, Silent Servant, like we all pretty much started around the same time. I would say Juan, Silent Servant was way ahead of us with the music output. At that time, developer had a record shop and he was distributing techno from Detroit way before I was even going to record shops with the actual vinyl. Like he was already buying from Submerge. He was already buying from a lot of distributors in the Midwest. His distribution company was called Entity Music. So like me and Esteban and Dex met him and we became friends, and it's so good to see Adrian, developer. He's traveling the world. He's playing all the techno clubs around the world. So like that's one motherfucker who's been playing techno from the get-go. And so when you hear him play, he's not doing it for like you know, like a pastime. He's been doing this since like day one. So yeah, there's a lot of other people in the scene. There's Drum Cell from
Mhm.
he's still doing stuff, and I remember meeting him when I worked at a record shop, God, in the '90s, and he came in as a young kid. So it was, you know, it's good to see him having his own pressing plant with Gil, and they have and he's still putting on music, and he's producing music for the guy from Tool, the lead singer. Like, yo, he's doing some shit. So like, that's great, you know.
word, word.
Yeah, Adrian. I run into him often in Berlin.
I bet you do.
Yeah, when he had his because he, you know, like I was doing a lot of work with Mark Hawkins. You know, we are doing like
Okay.
some kind of houseier things together, and like doing this Knox Hawkins
Yeah,
project.
I
But
remember.
in that building where he is, everybody was in there. Matter of fact, Alexander Kowalski, his studio was right next door. Then Cynthia was down a few floors. Adrian was
Wow.
down like on the third floor, and Henning Bear's in there, and like a bunch of other people.
Damn.
But you know, Mark, good thing about Mark, he keeps me focused because I would get over in Berlin and I would want to go socialize, go to the record store, do other stuff. But Mark is he's clever at, you know, getting me in there and then, okay, see, man, D, you knocked out 8 songs. Because you know, for me,
Wow.
it's easier. He just get the stuff set up. I can just go in there and do my thing. He comes behind me and just maybe cleans it up a little bit, and then the stuff's done. But there was
Nice.
like a few times when I was there, Adrian, he came up, he was hanging out with us, and then he was listening to the tracks and some things like this. And we were going down to his place and hanging and, you know, kicking it too. But Mark was like, you know, I know you want to go socialize and hang out and stuff with Adrian and everything. Because Adrian, you know, we'll start going around Berlin or whatever. It was like, let's get this music done first, you know, and then, but a lot
Good
he
on
was,
Mark. Yeah.
yeah, no, Mark is he's just a focused little beast in the studio, and he's
Nice.
great at, he can listen to something, and he just like, you know, the Japanese, he can just recreate it quick
Wow.
and sound like I can still tell, like if you're just using the computer and in Ableton, and even if you try to put some tape noise and do stuff, I can still hear the difference. And if you use gear and have cables actually going into the sound card, and plus
Okay.
it's also, even with Ableton, you know, just dope sequences in there. But I still feel like an external sequencer, it'll be a little bit of a delay or something, which will give it that kind of rich surf feel, you
Yeah.
know. And you know, I'm able to tell because I really sat in Ableton a long time. A lot of tracks I did do in Ableton where you might think that I used the gear, and I actually did
Mm.
only use Ableton, but I can still, okay, I can hear it. But when I just simply set up the stuff and run everything into Ableton, I can right away, okay, it just feels naturally warm, and you know, some people argue, yeah, but on the dance floor. But no, I can still. I think people when they're dancing, they can still kind of tell because like if you're playing more digital stuff and you don't maybe mix in some kind of like old records or something, like
Right.
it's just that same sound. But I can tell the difference when I'm using Tractor and I'm playing on time code, even on
Okay.
CDJs. I record a lot with Tractor Pro 4 now. You can just record your records, your old records, straight in a Tractor, and what the maximizer has, it makes it loud.
Ooh,
So
that's
it's kind
nice.
of, and it analyzes the track, it beat grids it, and it even key codes it for you. So it's kind of nice to like, all right, I'm dropping something new, but then bam, I can drop something older, and you have that,
Yeah.
that feel. But that's, as I was saying with Mark, he's good at getting that old school vibe, but I can still tell that okay, that's on the computer. Just little things I can hear. But
Yeah. That's one thing I recently did. I digitized a bunch of old vinyl, and it was such a long process, man. It was like, and then I found a way to record it in through my controller at a low level, and then put an Ableton effect to make it bang. So like I found the right formula, but it took forever to get that formula down. And
yeah,
now, like when I make mixes and you hear a song that has that crackle and pop, that's from
yep.
the actual record. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm
it's
not gonna
better.
change it. Yeah, it's like, oh
It's
wow,
better. But hey,
people are
man, I
gonna
tell
think I'm
you,
playing vinyl.
Tractor Pro 4, it makes it easier. You
I'm
don't
gonna look
even
into that.
you
Thanks
don't
for the
even
tip.
need Ableton. You just record it directly in there, and it's straight. Like
Because I got like
wow.
I got 500 records in my garage that I need to digitize, and I know there's
Yeah.
some
Wow.
gems in there. So
Mm-hmm.
like they're just covered in dust, and my landlord's like, "Yo, this is a fire hazard." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna get rid of it like sooner or later." But yeah, that Tractor 4 I'm gonna look into, man, because if it could be easier job to digitize instead of the way I'm doing it, trust
Trust
me,
me,
man, I'll
man.
take it
'Cause
up. Yeah.
I was doing like you. I was taking one of those portable mics and just like
Oh,
recording it into that, and then taking the SD card and putting it into Ableton, and then
such a
trying to do it
process.
that way. But then I saw a video on Tractor, and I said, "Wait a minute, let me try this."
Nice.
Oh, save me so much time. So now I'm on this mission where I want to go to other people's record collections and ask them kindly, can I possibly record some of your records?
Oh,
As
nice.
well. So
Okay.
I feel like it's record shopping again, but in a different way.
Mhm.
Like instead of going to the record store and like, okay, I only got $100. If I
Yeah.
drive down to gramophones from Kalamazoo, I got about $100, and in the gas is like on a quarter, and I didn't even eat. So what I'm gonna do? And then here comes Hector Lopez giving me all these records, or the same if I go to Detroit. Here come Mike. This one. He giving me a bunch of records, and I'm like, okay, I gotta take his pile like this, get down. Still gotta have at least $5 for gas to get home, maybe
Damn.
$3 for hot now, and have the records for the rest. There was a lot of stuff like that. But now I feel like, oh, I just go over to Berlin with my MacBook and maybe
Good.
my little native instrument sound card, and just, for example, record that stuff straight in of other people's collections. I thought about
Yeah.
hitting up Aubrey Miles and seeing if
Like,
he would let me come into the store and do that, but
I don't know.
maybe he might not.
No.
No, mate. Mate, you gotta come
No.
on, Donnell. You gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if I try Sebastian or one of them other guys, some German dudes, they the same. No,
Mm.
no, you cannot. It's not legal. It's like, but in Poland, nah, the
Yeah.
land of they don't care.
That's good.
So, do you
It's
have any stories, man? Like, because I know you've probably been touring all over a lot of places.
Mhm.
What's your like the craziest story you ever had while you were somewhere?
ooh. Well, I did travel with the band Galaxy to Galaxy and Los Hermanos. I would say we didn't do too we didn't run into too many crazy things, but we were playing a festival at a chateau in France, and it was like a light mist of rain. And I remember we were worried about getting electrocuted because that
Wow.
shit was just flying everywhere. And we had gear, we had synthesizers, we had DJ equipment, we had pianos, and just so much gear. And I think the bass player, Pope, he played for Galaxy to Galaxy and Los Hermanos. I think he got shocked. And I I remember Esteban called me over after our gig to his piano. He's like, look at the piano. This fool had blood all over the piano because he was playing so like whenever we played Knights of the Jaguar,
Mm-hmm.
Esteban had to play a salsa riff, but Knights of the Jaguar is like 139 BPM. And salsa music is usually a slower, like maybe, I don't know, 110, 99 BPM. So this fool had to play a salsa piano riff super fast. And it was dark. He cut himself, and I just remember seeing blood all over the whole piano. I'm like, damn, dude, you
Wow.
played your ass off. You earned that fucking money. So yeah, we didn't really run into anything that crazy. I'm trying to think anything that stands out. Maybe the first time we played at Berghain as
Mhm.
Los Hermanos Live, and I know all of you know how Berghain is. It's the music never stops,
Mhm.
so the music keeps going. And so we were a band where we would take breaks between each song. And I remember the whole crowd was like, I mean, we didn't play Panorama Bar, we played Berghain, like the
Oh
main club. And
wow.
this is maybe the first few years that they were open. And I just remember the crowd just staring at us like, what the fuck? Like, why'd you stop? And we were like, what do we do? What do we do? So I told Gerald Mitchell, I'm like, hey, maybe we should, like, after the song ends, we should just go to the next song. So, like, I just, as soon as the song stopped, I was used to, like, everybody, like, taking a break, doing their thing. I would just start the music because I was a DJ for the band. So I would play like the bed track. So I just sped it up. And I didn't know anything about their no cameras in their club. So my dumbass was a techno tourist. I was walking around the club with a handheld, just filming everything. Like, wow, I'm in Berghain. This is in Berlin. I remember this brother who was working the security there was originally from the States, was like, yo, you have to come with me. They took me outside. They're going, you're getting kicked out. I'm like, yo, I did not know about this. I came in through the artist store, blah blah, and I had to like convince them like, hey, I'm playing here in about 30 minutes with the band. And so it worked out, and they just said, hey, put your camera away. So yeah, and that footage, I think I might still have it, but
Mhm.
I ain't gonna risk it. You know, I still want to play.
Yeah.
Now, that place is crazy, man. Like I
It
played it.
is.
It was just kind of like now. It was kind of weird when you say, "Yeah, we're playing on the on the floor, not at P bar." It was like, "Oh, okay." And then I can totally see like at least 1,000+ people sitting there looking like, "What the fuck?"
Why'd you stop? They're like, why'd you stop? But like in German.
Right?
I heard a lot of Heise Scheiße. I'm like, oh no.
See,
Like shit.
yeah, that's crazy, man. It's totally crazy.
They'll throw stuff at you too
Damn, I
in
haven't
Germany. If
experienced
they
that.
don't
I
if
would
they don't like something, they'll throw you be like, whoa, and then you can't see who it is because it's all dark. You know, they ain't gonna let you see who did it, but they will if they don't like something. I've seen that before.
Wow.
Damn.
Miles, to answer your question too, I do something just came back to me that after hours I told you I played at in Los Angeles in the 95, 96 from
Mm.
12 to 6 was called the Beverly Room. And so all the tweakers would come out, all the night people would come out. There was this one dude who I want to say made me a better DJ, but through threats. Like he would be dancing in front of me. And you know, I had just started DJing. Maybe I was DJing for like 4 years. So I was still getting my, you know, my beat matching down.
Mhm.
And he was a gay dude, so like he was like, honey, you suck. Get off the decks. You know, he would like verbally, because if you don't get off the decks, I'm gonna kick your ass, honey. I'm like, shit. Like, so I remember I would go home and like practice more. I'm like, I don't want to get my ass kicked at a club. So I'm just like practice. And I remember the feeling I got when he would start coming. Like he wouldn't come every Monday, but he would come like every other Monday. And when I would do good, he would tell me by dancing right in front of me, just like getting down. It wasn't until like months later I found out, oh yeah, he was high off meth. Like that's why he was acting a fool. Like God, so like that was pretty scary. But like yeah,
I don't know. I think I would freak out. Like I know he's there.
Yeah.
This is watching me, and he's in front of me just to say, "Hey, you fucking up."
I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't get off the decks. Like
Nice.
I'm playing here for 6 hours. Come on, man, get your ass.
And you still remember his schedule and routine.
Oh
when
yeah.
he would show
Every
up.
time I saw him, I was like, oh shit.
And fuck, he didn't show up every week. It was just like,
Nah, he didn't show up every week.
Every other.
Only when he had enough money for meth.
Sharp though. That kept him sharp. He's like, this nigga like just show up and beat my ass.
But honestly, it made me a better DJ. Like those
Yeah.
threats from somebody high on meth made me like, okay, I don't want to get my ass kicked. Let me practice. So like I would go home, practice.
Exactly.
And I remember I would take like 2 crates of 100 records to that spot. And say what you want about the USB, man. I never want to go back to vinyl like that. Like that was crazy. Like recently I played an all vinyl party here for Black Lodge.
Mhm.
And I haven't played vinyl in years, but I know I'm still good at it. It's like riding a bike, right? You don't,
Right.
Yeah, you don't forget.
So when we left to the party, the gig was only for an hour, guys. I took a whole bag of 100 records. And you guys know 100 records is not enough for an hour. It's like 5 hours maybe, but I just, I always have to take more vinyl, and I'm so glad the USB is around. If they had that technology back when I first started DJing, I would definitely be on USB, man, because it saved my whole back, dude. Back pain, no more, dude.
We're fucking old. Except
Seriously, man.
Josh is the youngest person in there, but we're all old, man. And it's just like, after a while, it's like just lugging records, man.
Yeah.
Thank God for a trolley, but I mean, other than that,
Right.
it's just crazy.
Well, and when they're good records, I had a real purist attitude till I had a crate stolen, and then it was I ended up getting about half of them back from the record store that they sold them to.
Wow.
So I paid $100 back for a stack that was like, this is how many I got back, but it was like, you paid $100 for these?
Wow.
Like, there's records that are worth $100 in here.
Yes,
That's crazy.
There was one time I was going to Paris to play Rex Club, but so I left Detroit. The connecting flight was in Canada somewhere. And when the records arrived there in Canada and got onto Paris flight, I had packed 100 records. No, I didn't. I wasn't able to check because they got moved from plane to plane.
Yeah.
But when I got to Paris, I had 100 records. I had sets down, everything. I only have 5 records in there. And whoever stole it either didn't know what was in it because they left all my craft work. I'm like, they didn't know, like, craft work's the shit. So, but they took everything else. And it was a friend in Paris that really helped me with some CDs. Her name was Marie. She saved me because I had nothing. I had no CDs, no nothing, just vinyl. And yeah. She had all these CDs that she bought through the 90s. I'm like, perfect. I'll take them all and just play them and go freestyle off it. Yeah, but that sucks when your records get lifted like that,
Well, and it just started to be a lot like, lugging them around's already a pain in the ass. But then when it's like, I had my car get broken into on 2 separate occasions.
Ooh.
And one time there was records in it. The other time, I guess they were just hoping there was records in it. But I did bring them out for this show. So I was playing TV and I was just kind of feeling the house music and trying to get those old house records out. But it's still like, I'll bring them if we go out to eat beforehand, I'll bring them into the restaurant or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just not leaving them, in the truck anymore. Those days are over. So.
Shit, I lost everything. I still haven't recovered.
Oh
yeah, I forgot to tell y'all, Terry,
man,
DJ that one. We kind of still do, but
nah.
He said
400 to 600.
Not after that.
And 400 to 600 vinyl records. A lot of underground shit from Detroit.
Oof.
I mean, the prints, things that were out of print. I mean, just all kinds.
Oh man,
yeah.
1200s. I was just knowing where you talk about like the trans dude was threatening you better get your beats right. I was in that.
Yeah.
I was learning how to get my mixes down. I was mixing house with the that top 40 stuff that the bar would only let me play. The lady didn't want me to play any rap, hip hop or anything like that. And so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta I got to get this place live. The place went from dead to live. So live, she's making money. She's got a bar. She's got a dorm in now. I've got her doing tutor shots, everything like that. And I could DJ, and her regular dude was there. So that's how I was pissed. But shortly after that, my crib got broken into, and they stole everything.
Wow.
So over the years, I've been piecemealing equipment back together and everything like that. And the only vinyl I have is Myles. I have one from way back, man.
That's what's up. True fan right there, baby.
Right. Way back. I mean, one of his first vinyl releases. I still got that joint, and then some stuff that he just recently put out. But I'm still sick, man. And it's been, let's see, that was before I became an officer. That I've been there 27 years. Man, I'm going to say a good 28, 29 years, because a few years after that, I ended up getting married, and, family matters, man. And so now that I'm divorced, and, Myles is in town, and encouraging him and his journey, and he's encouraging me to revisit my passion. And
nice.
So, I mean, to sit here and listen to you guys tell your origin stories, man. This is dope. You just don't know.
Right on, man.
Giving a lot of energy. I was listening to something that Myles had dropped. I was taking my son to school not too long ago, and I was listening, and I just, in my head, man, I just started hearing, tunes with like this Indian vibe, and then it mixed to something with a with a little more. You mentioned Mr. Salazar, something a little more salsa. But when I made the trip, by the time I was done making the trip and got to work, there was a whole in my head. There was a whole hour segment that spanned the world. So it had vibes from every continent, man. And I was like,
that's cool.
I need to get down in his lab, man. And I just need to, have him show me, this stuff. Cause I was just getting into, I don't know if it was Ableton. Who did I have? And all that, like I said, I got married and all that stuff was ghost. And I need to get back in it. So,
well, you're having musical visions, man. That's the time.
Very true. Very true. So, what else we got going? Joshua, you had a release to drop on April Fool's.
Yeah.
No joke.
No
joke. Yeah. Shout out to you for putting that out. And, and really, I just want to say also to Santiago how grateful I am for the reinterpretation of one of my favorite tracks on the album, creating like my new favorite track on the album, and just really love your work on that. And
thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's dope, man.
Well, it's not.
What did you think when you first heard it? When I said, "Hey, can you do a remix?" You were like, "Hell no!"
He was like, "Man, I can't work with this."
No, I think I told you that I tried to use some of your parts, but I just sometimes they don't vibe, or I just don't do it. So like, there was a going back to a remix I did for Modulars. He had me remix a truncate track, and the parts that he sent me, I couldn't mess with it, so I just reinterpreted it like I did with yours, and I kind of like that. Like I've mixed your version and my version back to back, and they flow. So I'm like, okay,
they really do, man. They really do.
I'm in the right key, so like I did try. So yeah, but that's what I try to do.
I like the reinterpretations thing, because you actually have to listen,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, I'm gonna take this and that, but yeah, you have to listen and like, damn.
And and it was fun to work on it. Like it wasn't like a job you don't want to do. It's like, oh, okay, let me do a bass line. Like I have another version of it with a different bass line, which me and my girlfriend were listening to it in a car ride because we were fixing up her property like 30 miles out of Los Angeles. So we had time to like listen to both. And she liked the other version that I did. I didn't give you guys, but I'm like, I don't know, babe. This one sounds better, She's like, well, either one you pick, fine, but we would like argue about it in these car rides. Like I'm like, yeah, but her thing was that the other one had a more techno sound, and I'm like, well, this one kind of like bounces with the song, like kind of grooves
Yeah.
with the song. So
Right.
she said, well, you can use that other bass line for a new song. I'm like, oh yeah, I could. So you might hear it.
All right.
Word.
I heard. Well, I didn't hear it, but that's
It's basically the same song
yeah.
with just a different bass line. That's it.
That's
Yeah.
what's up,
Yeah,
man.
that's
That's
it.
what's up, man, for sure.
No, it was nice to hear, it was kind of like Santiago's Joshua Tree impression or something, like when
Yeah.
you really listen to the track, and but then, musically you definitely went a different direction. So that was just really cool, to see done, and helped round out the release because it
Yeah.
did have kind of a house. I was trying to explain to one of my friends your track, and I was like, it's kind of like a techno vibe, but housey. And he's like, "What does that fucking mean?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "Well, listen to it." And
Yeah, I was trying to recreate a Galaxy to Galaxy remix that me and Mike had did for Raiders of the Lost Ark, a artist from Italy. He had put out the song and it just has that same kind of bounce, but of course I can't play strings like Mike Banks. Like Mike can like he has this weird thing with his pinky that he can play more chords and I don't know how he does it, but so it kind of has that same vibe. Like if you listen to the Galaxy to Galaxy remix of Beyond the Darkness, you might hear a similar vibe. So yeah.
we're
Check that out. Sure.
yeah. So otherwise, there's two other great remixes on that release. I'm super excited
Yes.
to have that out, and we've reached out and talked about potentially trying to get some people here for whether it be it wouldn't be a release party, but some sort of themed event, trying to get people in Michigan, whether it be Detroit or Grand Rapids. It'd be cool to have kind of a planetariums themed event. Um, I have performed in a planetarium in Grand Rapids before. I did a live show. That was kind of the inspiration for this. And Myles and I were talking about maybe trying to reach out to some of the other planetariums and see if that's an option. But even just like thinking about that and saying, talk about chills up your spine. Like I get nervous just thinking about performing in that kind of environment again. But that said, we want to do a volume 2 with a little different direction musically and get some more remixers on it potentially.
Nice.
So more to come from that project, and I'm just elated that it's out and grateful to Myles especially for giving it a chance. And I've been bugging him for my numbers. I don't know if anybody's listening to it, but I think it's getting out there.
That's good.
0 wood.
What's that? 0-1. My listens are. I'm the only one listening to it.
Like before you bring in like, sorry, hey, you know what? We're doing some changes to the label.
That's my luck.
Man, it's a dope release, man. Like just overall, I like the direction and just how different and how it's a good project for like anyone. You can go in any direction. How it's techno, just listen, whatever. I think it's dope. I like it. I really like it. I'm happy with it. I mean, regardless of numbers, I mean, the fact that we're all happy with it, that's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And your curation on the remixes just really did a great job, because I totally understand the issue of like remixing some of those songs because they have their own kind of sound. They're not locked to an Ableton grid. It's all analog instruments, or mostly analog. There's still MIDI and shit going on, but they don't necessarily lend themselves to remixing. And the way Myles was able to put together the lineup of international stars on that release, to be real about it, and the like the Afrozoid remix goes in totally its own direction. Brendan's remix goes in its direction, and each of the songs are kind of their own. The other part of it is that the song Cosmic Space on there, I don't know if I've really talked about this publicly or anything, but Myles certainly knows that the other two songs I made back in 2017 when I played in that planetarium, And there were 2 other songs kind of with this release that were not as like, you know, finished or full-fledged or good or however you want to look at it. And there was a point where we were kind of forming the record, and Myles said, okay, I need that 3rd song. And I was like, okay, give me a minute. Let me finish that. And I ended up totally remixing it and redoing it, because as I got into, you know, kind of looking at it in Ableton and on a grid and stuff, I was like, man, this isn't going to work for DJs and stuff. Like we gotta totally redo this. And it's just interesting how that comes across, and it gave it you know, so there's like 6 or 5, probably 5 different sounds on that record. If not every song has its own kind of sound in a way. So it's cool how that came together. You know, it still has a cohesiveness, and yeah. So that's enough talking about my release. What do you got coming up, Myles?
Congrats.
I don't know, man. What did I do? I gotta look at my board. I got a board of all my stuff that have like projects and things I need to do, like take out the trash and pay. I do have
Pay
to
your bills.
Yeah, man, for real. I did remixes. So I think I finished those before I went to Berlin, actually. So I did a remix for Tim Xavier, Mike.
Oh, wow.
This guy, Marcus Watkins, he's actually on a label called People of the Light, which I know this girl. God, I'm like losing. I'm getting old. I can't think anymore.
Same, man. When you were asking me about the submerged artists I've seen so many, but I can't remember anybody's names. It's like,
dude, it's crazy. And just the fact that I know, yeah, I don't know. Forgive me. People are like, I just did that, and it's like a house label, but I'm really cool. With the girl that does the label, she asked me for a remix, and damn, I gotta get it.
Yo, Myles, I got some beef to pick with you though.
What? I didn't do it.
You released something on Calder City that it was that song that goes mistake, 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 mistake. Do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's on
It's not on Calder?
No, that's on
Dan Curry's label?
Yeah, dude.
Oh shit. Well, my beef is that my last tour I did of Europe was like for my last album, maybe 2015, 2016. I was practicing that because I play that shit like every club. But I was practicing it here at my house before leaving. And that song has some sonic shit going on with it, dude. That caused me a
like bad sonic stuff.
Bad sonic sound because I got that ringing in the ear type thing. And so, I live in a house. I don't have a big club sound system. I have like regular like monitors, but I must have been playing it so loud and for so long that I started to develop a bad ringing in my ear. And it was like a week away from flying. So I'm like, okay, I can't practice no more. I gotta rest and let my. So I remember I was at Panorama Bar playing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta lower the like monitors. Something about that song, man. I don't know how you did it. The combination of sounds gave me that ringing of the ear, dude.
What you get when you make me mad.
So that song knocks though. It sounds so good in the club.
That's it. I'm coming for everybody with that song. Piss me off.
You fucked me up, man. I almost went to like urgent care. I was like, oh no, I can't be like this before a tour.
So yeah, so I did that, man. I mean, what is it? So it's on Dan's label, and mistake. Yeah, basically what that is, the sample. It's a sample, and it's actually Jimi Hendrix.
Oh.
So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so it's Jimmy's fault.
It's Jimmy's fault. It wasn't mine.
It's Jimmy's fault.
I was like trying to do something. I was like, damn, I want to do something crazy. But it's an interview that Jimi Hendrix did with somebody, and he was talking about most of my music. I'll say this: most of my music, there's mistakes all the way through it. And I'm not saying I don't care, but I think I don't like to be too perfect, right? And I think there's some sort of like genuine quality of mistakes that you can get something from it. It's either going to add something good or bad or both. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was just thinking like, damn, I can't be. I know I'm not the only person that thinks this way. So I don't know what the hell I was doing. How this whole Jimi Hendrix thing come up, whatever. I was like, damn. I wonder if they're saying he's like the best fucking guitarist on earth when he was alive. You know what I mean? So I wonder if he had anything about mistakes. And I just searched Jimi Hendrix and mistakes, and then here's his interview. God, what's that guy's name? Famous interview. I don't know, interviewer guy from way back in the day, but he actually talked about it. He's like, yeah, my music has mistakes in it. There's a lot of stuff that happened that turned out good, but it actually was a mistake, but it turned out all right. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna sample Jimi Hendrix and a mistake, and that's what it was. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Yeah.
It goes to the whole thing, man. It's just like, and then I sent it to Dan. I wasn't sure because Dan, the stuff I've heard from on Dan's label was kind of more Detroity, not really too banging too hard. So I didn't think he was going to take it, to be honest. And he took
Wow.
it.
Man,
And,
he must have heard that mistake too, because yeah, it's a banger, dude. It's a banger.
oh yeah, Dick Cavett. He did an interview with Dick Cavett. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
He was just talking about mistakes, so that's what I took. So, but yeah, I didn't think he was going to take it, and that's one of my favorite releases.
Yeah, mine
I've
too.
ever, oh, yeah. So
Except I can't play that track no more, man. I'm scared. Like I'm scared I'm gonna
sorry.
get that.
I'll make sure.
I'm legit scared, bro. I'm like legit scared. Like if like I don't want because that shit was I was horrified when I was like, what the
Are you
fuck? I
serious?
go to work like this.
So you're gonna be dreaming like mistake.
But I do want to be at a party when someone drops it though, because I haven't had that experience. Instead of the person playing it, like I want to be in the crowd
Yeah.
dancing.
I'll play it.
Yeah.
I'll bring it. I'll play it.
Yeah,
They're
play
like
it.
to the hospital.
Warn
now.
me though.
I just be like,
Warn me.
Earmuffs.
That's crazy. I'm glad. Thank you for playing it because you ever get this thing like you see people charge stuff or you don't really know who's playing what. You know what I mean? Because my music is it's okay. I don't think it's like I've heard my stuff played one time ever, and when I heard it, I was like, damn, this sounds familiar. Who the fuck is it? Oh, that's me. It's a weird feeling just to hear that, like to hear somebody else play, especially when you don't even know what's going to happen, and then you just kind of walk somewhere and damn, I know that song.
Yeah,
because when you making music, it's like you hear it all the time, it's constantly repeating. You ain't even doing shit, it's just repeating for like hours, and you're like, then you turn it off. Like I'm sick of hearing that shit. So that's what happened. I was somewhere and I was having a drink. I'm like, damn. I know this. What the fuck is this? And somebody was like, yo, it's you.
Doesn't even know his own music.
I couldn't tell. But it's a weird thing, man. It's cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, well, thank you for playing, man. Damn.
Yeah, man. I play a lot of your stuff, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
D-KNOX too.
yeah, man.
I think I played a party in Los Angeles 2 years ago where I go, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna play all Sonic Mind, like, and it kicked ass. It's like it's kind of cheating because, in a sense, it's kind of cheating, but shit kicked ass, man.
It's on a different kind of. It's like what Myles was saying, because sometimes it's happened to me too, where man, I know this track. Oh damn, that was that one. That's that one, yeah. And the thing with mistakes, just going back to that, man, a lot of those old Sonic Mind records, sometimes if you go back, well, if you have a chance, you might hear some like hip hop beats or some other stuff underneath. Because I didn't, like, for example, I didn't have enough money to go get another tape at the time, or the guy wasn't available. So I was recording on top of stuff that was already recorded on a tape, and some of it stayed there and it bleeded and did a track. And as you know, as you saying, Ron Murphy, how he used to crack on me too hard. I go down there, he'd be like, man, what's this beep bleep chirp chirp stuff? Every time you come here, you want to go to Hot Now. I said, yeah, because you charging me, I got to pay you $300 or something for the mastering first, so that's why I'm going to Hot Now.
Man, that's the one thing I like about Ron Murphy is that he would let you know with no fucks given. I remember me, Mike, Gerald, and Raphael Merriweather's Ray 7 were in the studio. We were cutting Ray's record on Underground Resistance. And I remember just Ron was just had his head down. He was working on the lathe or the cut, and he just said, "Oh, Mike, I see you're putting on some bullshit." And we all look at Ray, and Ray just face was like I'm right here, dude. Like, and it was just the funniest shit because he would light up everybody.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Ron Murphy.
Do you remember that Radio Shack DJ mixer he had in there, and he told you, "Oh, you can make it sound a little bit better if you mess with the EQs on that mixer." And I was like, "This thing is from hold on a second, man. It's from Radio Shack, and you telling me to make my track I thought it was already done. Well, you can
Oh
make
my
it better.
God.
Just go ahead and adjust some." I remember a couple of times I tried to do something. I didn't know what I was doing. Probably turned up something too loud,
That's
but
funny.
he was
I don't recall that, but I recalled so he would cut the what's the term when you would make a cut of it and you can play it at the club, but it only lasts a few
Acetate.
plays. He would cut us acetate. He would put it on a turntable to test it. His turntable was fucked up. He would play it, and I have video of this. I think it's on a Los Hermanos DVD where he's playing it and he's banging the turntable like, come on, motherfucker, come on, like, and you just hear it go, dun, 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 dun. And he's just banging it, cussing at it. Like you could just hear Gerald Mitchell, myself, Mike, just laughing in the background, like, oh my god, like he was a character, man. He was a character.
yeah. That
You know,
was
I was shocked that they didn't. I know Heath Brenner. I know him for VMAX Records. I know he was working with him like before he passed, but
Right.
I was actually shocked that nobody actually kept that going. It just kind of just stopped after he died. Like nobody.
I do know they moved his cutting machine to Submerge, and I remember I was told that Heath was going to do it, but I guess he never picked it up because
Yeah.
he was trained by Ron Murphy, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so he had the knowledge for it. So I don't know why it didn't happen.
Because like I know he moved. He moved either Holland or Grand Rapids. I've seen him a couple of years ago. He came out of the show and he came up and he gave me some. I know he's still making music. I do know that, but he didn't pick it up. I've never asked him like what happened. How come you guys didn't keep going? You know what I mean? But I mean that was like an institution. You know what I mean, for Detroit and music like that. And I was like really shocked and knowing that he got trained by him. You would think,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing I would look at when I would buy a Detroit record is I would look for the little NSC carved into the vinyl, like okay, this is a NSC record. Let me buy this. Yeah. Even though it wasn't the best quality all the time, but it's still Ron Murphy.
It's him, and then I mean, like even to this day, like we were in Berlin, me and Josh played. We went to Tim Xavier's spot, Man Made Master. Shouts out to Tim. Just telling some stuff, man. But I just kind of like the crazy shit that Ron was doing with the cuts, like backwards and lot grooves, and how I seen some crazy record like the beginning was it just weird shit that he was doing. Nobody does that.
Yeah, that was my introduction to underground resistance. I remember my friend from high school, David Charles. He's like, "Yo, I got to take you to this punk record shop in Hollywood." He didn't tell me why. It was just a guy with the mohawk who was working there. And we go there, they sell all punk shit, but they had a little section called Toronto and Detroit Techno.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first UR record I bought was Rings of Saturn. And I remember taking it home, being blown away because there were all these lock grooves to represent the different rings of Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole shit just blew my mind. And of course, you see National Sound on there. So like going back to what like you say, he was doing some innovating shit with cutting records and putting loops in the records and all that stuff was crazy. Do you remember the 2x technology where there was a series of records that came out through Submerge? DJ Bone had one on Metroplex that if you put the needle down and then you pick the needle up, it goes to a whole different song, but it's like one song. Like that's amazing. Like the only time I've seen that on any record was a De La Soul record.
Yeah, dude. I was just talking because we just had this with Tim, and I think either him or somebody just did one. And the first time I ever seen it, it was me, myself, and I was the 12-inch, and it was
Yeah.
the remix of that, and then if you went to that, it was like they had that kid Jeff, and you would bring it back, and it was like that. But then if you bumped the turntable or you did something, it would fuck up and go back.
That's why it was so hard to play those techno records that were double groove, because like if you didn't clean your records or you had a scratch,
Yeah,
you already know what happens. It'll skip
Yep.
to another song like, whoa.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's some cool stuff, man. Like I said, you don't see any of that no more. You know, just that whole art.
I would say the most innovating stuff I saw was when I was working at Onyx Mastering, the Onyx record pressing by Drumsound.
Mhm.
They were doing some laser cutting stuff on there. I don't know how far they got with it, but like he was telling me that they can cut stuff with the laser and then put sound in there. And I'm talking like this is some next level shit that I saw there. I'm like, wow, if you do this, you're gonna get a lot of people who are gonna want their records pressed here. So yeah, check out
Hell, man.
Onyx Record Press. Yeah,
That's
that's
hell
ran
of
by
a.
Drum Style.
I just seen that they just opened like early last year, or
Right, right.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I was working there for a few months, packing records, but I couldn't do both jobs, man. I was working at doing a custodian and spending a few hours there. I was exhausted. So
word. I think Donnell disappeared or something.
he said he'll be right back.
Okay, take a break. Yeah, we were going for a while, man. It's like a little after 4 right now. So
Yeah, this has been nice, man.
no, it was cool, man. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that it's going to archive, and I'll have the beginning. I'll upload it separately. We're streaming, but it will save the stream. I'll just go back and.
If this thing get recorded, you're totally fired.
Be present. No, what's it called? Be present.
Yeah.
Oh,
Show up. Show up.
Yeah.
The real management has spoken.
Yo, are you gonna do anything with that? Show up? Are you gonna have like a T-shirt made or something? Because
I don't know,
that's
man.
pretty powerful, man.
Yeah, you got to, bro.
I haven't done anything for a while, so like I know Roberto Ingram, shout out to you. He kind of was saying he did something, and they were talking in Donnell's interview. He interviewed Donnell, and Roberto said something about show up. I've heard it before. I know it's a term that they use in like Al-Anon and some other stuff, but he was just like, yo, just show up every day, show up every day, show up whatever you do, show up. And it kind of makes sense, man. You know what I mean? Because like when you put 100% in, I mean, it's something you do. Sometimes it usually works out, you know what I mean? Because you put all the effort into doing it, whether good, hopefully good, but you know, it happens. So, but yeah, so we were just doing it, man. And they had their little directions. Like Roberto was just doing like Roberto stuff. Donnell went to the whole spiritual realm of it, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck it, I gotta take out the trash, so I gotta show up. I gotta fucking clean the house. I gotta show up, you know what I mean? So mine was just like the everyday things, man. I'm gonna start doing it again. I had some good ass ideas, man. I was trying to get
I would honestly say, since you guys start posting show up, it has kind of been a positive thing in my daily life. Like when someone invites me to a birthday party, because I'm a homebody. Like I stay home, but like I think of show up, just show up. Like be there for your friends when they invite you somewhere. Like don't be a fucking homebody. So it's a positive thing, man. So
yeah.
yeah.
You see, I'm trying to make it negative. I was trying to get my cousin to lock me up. My thing, I was like, yo, just come up with the car, man, and just lock me up, and I can turn around and be like, yo, show up.
That's a solid promo. I like that.
Especially with the release, with the shoplifter release, I was trying to do it then, but it just didn't work out, man. I was like, yo,
that would be so hard. That would be so hard.
On the job, and I've been sitting at the desk ever since. So
yeah, man,
it's my fault because we were planning on doing that. I was gonna take the cruiser to the wash, get a one of the nice new ones, bring it out. It's got a lot more space in the back, you know. And I was like, okay, so we're gonna make sure that the shiny ones, not the black ones. You know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna, make it look good.
And then I was just thinking, like, damn, what if I can get in jail? Like, I can actually be in jail. And then I started thinking, shit, what if they find words?
The audio is all like over the phone. Myles talking about, show up. I need you.
Man, show up. You gotta get me out of here, man.
Unpaid jaywalking.
Right?
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, just my luck, they plant some shit. Oh, not saying that. I'll please turn back. I'll please turn back. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna do it again. It was a good little thing, man. I think people were actually tuning in, you know, just to see what we were gonna do. Because it was like a day thing almost. So, and
nice.
But it was good. It was good ads for, you know, the events coming up too that, you know, he was doing, and it was a great marketing tool. And I think it is a great marketing tool.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah. It is. Like, I gotta spend it some kind of other way though. But yeah, we'll do it for sure. So, well, I don't know, Donnell, wherever you are. Thanks for helping me today.
Yeah, thank you, Donnell.
For real. So, well, I know it's been wow, a few hours, man. I appreciate everybody to come in today and out of your busy schedules to take time to talk. Yeah, I learned a lot today. A lot of things I didn't know about you. A lot of things I kind of did, but I wasn't for sure. And just like I said, man, we've been trying to link up in some kind of way, like for like years, you know what I'm saying? So it's really dope to do this, man. Like for real. And I'm very appreciative when you take the time out to join us today and to let us know and let the public know a little bit more about you and things they didn't know. You know what I mean? We all know you're wonderful and great, but it's actually cool I think to actually know an artist more on a personal level, you know what I mean? And so people can kind of like get a better understanding, you know what I mean? So I greatly appreciate you joining us today, though, for real.
Thanks for the
Thank you, Myles. Yeah, thank you to the whole show. I can't wait to see who you interview next. Don't give us no spoilers, but yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure, for sure. Josh, thank you for joining us today, man. I mean, it's great that you did take the time on your day too to come out and join and be a part of the show too, man.
No, thank you for, you know, putting me on, and Santiago and Donnell for sharing their stories. It's really invaluable to be able to sit here with the artists, and I appreciate what you're doing here, Myles. To give people a chance to get to know us personally, know you, and I think it's valuable. So hit that like and subscribe. There he is. All right,
back, man. We were like saying goodbyes and stuff.
Yeah, I figured, but I had to feed the cats. Because he you know, one of them, the brother, he definitely lets you know when he wants to eat. He's got this annoying whine, and it doesn't stop until he gets what he wants. So, you know, Myles, you know, Callie, you know how she is.
Yeah.
She's pretty chill. She don't do nothing. But the brother, he'll like, sometimes I forget, and he'll hang out. He'll be somewhere by the door, and I'll come. Oh, he came here just to make sure I don't forget to feed. Yeah, my wife got them kind of like on a schedule. Like they eat in the morning, and then 12 hours later they eat their next meal, just to keep them like fit, I guess. So they won't be eating crazy. So, but yeah, sometimes I forget, you know.
Yeah, no worries. I got a cat too. My cat's crazy though. He just comes up and looks at me like, "You gonna feed me or what?"
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, "Yo, you got a bowl full of food."
Hey, next time your cat asks for food, just play him that mistake.
I'm gonna send it to you. I should put it to you. He's gonna get you like it's your fault that he did this.
Mistake.
All right. D, you got any more questions? You got another question by any chance you want to ask before we wrap up? Anything?
Just basically, I know what you got coming with Josh, but I was gonna ask maybe any plans to try to do anything with the fellas in LA, you know, like with developer and those guys, you know, Concave.
No, not with them, but I'm working with some younger, newer artists. They're called from a group called Gazateca. It
Mhm.
consists of, I mean, me and Soltera, she's from the group. We released the album last year, all on Bandcamp, and it's just like my music, techno and house with her vocals on top. She's singing in Spanish. There's
Mhm.
another artist I worked with named Neva, and we released 2 songs. She's local. Another artist I work with named Langosta, which means lobster in English,
Mm.
and we put out 2 songs. And then there's another artist that's originally from Detroit named Vincent. He's a rapper and a house singer. We did 3 songs last year, so like I'm hoping to work with them more and just keep on working with younger, newer artists. And
Mhm.
for some reason, these artists like my stuff, and what they did on top of it was amazing. Like the music I sent them was all instrumentals, and what they sent back was like I could never think of it. So I think it's the perfect collaboration, like to work with these younger artists and to hear what they hear.
Mhm.
Me being an older person in my 50s, and then them being in their late 20s, and just to hear what they're doing is
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's like
Uh-huh.
I can't think of it, so like they're thinking of that, so
Mhm. So
it's
the so
perfect.
the last thing, are you still gonna do something with Seth?
With who?
Seth Troxler?
Oh, you remember that, right? No,
Yeah.
that didn't fall through after. I mean,
Okay.
I sent him like a grip of songs for that new
Okay.
label he started. The Tuskegee
The
something. He
Tuskegee one,
had,
yeah.
yes, and that never panned out, but maybe in the
Okay.
future, yeah, that would be cool. Like I would love to. Yeah, I would love to work with anybody who's,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I always wonder what happened with if it if y'all managed to do something.
Nah, sadly we
Yeah.
didn't, but there might be a chance soon.
Word. Oh, hold on a second. I think say what's up to Terry. You don't say anything. Terry got to scoot off. He has an urgent call or something.
All
But
right, Terry,
His
take
parents.
care, man. Nice meeting you.
yeah, it's word. Word.
All right, Terry.
The energy, man. Thanks for sharing the origin stories, you guys. I appreciate just being in the room with you guys, being in the in this environment. It's great. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Thank you.
See you soon, man. Thank you.
Thank you for sure. For sure. Give it up for Terry, everybody. Word. All right. All right. So, excuse me. Yeah, it was real, man. I had a good time. Thank you for everybody for showing up, tuning in. Yeah. So tell us where people can find you, socials, all that good jazz. Let's go.
I'm on Instagram under Sci-Fi Chicano. I'm on SoundCloud, I think under Santiago Salazar. Bandcamp, Santiago Salazar. What else? What else is there? Trying to think of everything else. I'm on Dublab the first Fridays of every month, called from midnight to 2 a.m. The show's called Santuario. We've been going since 2015.
Okay.
And we play everything: techno, house, electro, sometimes jit, sometimes ghetto tech. We play everything. So tune in if you want to hear something different. So yeah, thank you, Myles and Donnell, for having me. It's good to meet you, Joshua Tree.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate the opportunity here and the stories. So it's always nice to be in the room with Myles has always seems to be putting me in the room with more and more people. So it's
That's
just good
good.
to get the chance to be out here. Yep, yep. All for the music.
Word,
Yep.
word. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to MS Live once again. I'm Myles Sergé with Mr. Donnell Knox,
The co-host.
co-host. Yeah. So if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. God, I don't know we're like 4 something. Trying to get to 500. 500 is that magical number
Yes.
to step up to the next level. So 500 people, if you like this, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, cousins, aunties, whoever. Like, yo, you got to check this channel out.
I got some people been watching it, and they're liking the content, so we're doing something right.
That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
I'm glad everybody who does support. Thank you for your support, because Lord knows we need it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So until then, this is Myles Sergé, and that's Donnell's Q.
Well, y'all know the naughty boy D-KNOX.
The naughty boy.
The Michigander, you know.
The legend.
That's it, man. That's it. So yeah, thank you for checking us out. MS Live, YouTube, all that good stuff. You'll see the social links at the end. And until next time, it's been real, y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Do your music. Do you.
Mhm.
That's it. Oh, and then show up.
Yep.
Peace.